man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon.
Man, I'm here with my man with Hoop Jargon, the best in the game, man. And you know I only live selected few in my circle. And this is the real dude right here. We gonna get down with the get down.
Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out, this is a lovely Tuesday morning, and we're going to hop into what need to be hopped into, man. We're going to talk about this Kevin Durant situation. I got a surprise for you because a month ago, teaser, spoiler alert, your boy Hoop Jargon told you this is probably the real reason he requested the trade when nobody was saying this. And I'm going to back it up. So we're going to get there, but let's get to the news first. And shout out to the Pope in the building. Says we in chill. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. So y'all go ahead and hit the like button on the way in, and we're gonna get into this math here, man. We're gonna get into this storyline because I always thought something was right in Denmark with the trade request. I never thought it was Kyrie, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. So I'm gonna do a share screen, as you know, from one of my favorite shows, not because of Nick Wright. I just like their whole dynamic. I love the synergy. I love good sports talk, whether I like the personalities or not. So we're going to look at a segment from First Take. First things first this morning, so give you some backdrop on what Kevin Durant is saying. I'm going to inject my commentary, and then I'm going to go beyond what they're saying. So let's just get everybody nice and caught up. So let me hop on the stream real quick. And I got to drop a fair use. But just in case, I got my trusty overlay. You know how we do over here. It's Fox be flagging. All right, so let's go ahead and throw that overlay of KD up there. That's Harden. Sorry. But yeah, KD. All right, KD. So let's get started with KD. Let's see what First Things First has to say about this subject matter. We'll go from there.
Wow. Ryan. Wild. What's happening? All right, we'll get to that. We got to start in Brooklyn, where things took a very dramatic turn yesterday. We now know what Kevin Durant actually wants. So KD and Nets owner Joe Tsai finally met face-to-face over the weekend. This according to The Athletic's Shams Charania, whereby KD made his terms clear. It's me or it's them. In other words, choose to keep Durant or choose to keep GM Sean Marks and coach Steve Nash. So trade request not retracted, reiterated, in fact, resulting in quite the mess in Brooklyn. Well, Joe Tsai had this response last night. Our front office and coaching staff have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets.
That's interesting. So for you guys that don't know, Joe Tsai is going to be the owner, and that's going to be the other person in my thumbnail of the Brooklyn Nets. So he's taking the side of the corporate brass, which most owners will do. This is no surprise. So very interesting, KD. And y'all remember that. KD said it's them or me. Remember that.
Wow, what a great lead we have to bite into this morning. Nick, what do you make of KD's demands?
You know what? Before they go, I'm going to go first. Hoop going to go first. Because Hoop said this. Man, I cannot say. Let me get these comments. I see y'all rocking. Let's see. Pope says, I've been saying Kyrie wasn't the reason he wanted to leave. All them journalists sounded dumb trying to blame it. Exactly. They sounded ridiculous, man. They sounded ridiculous. And Pope says, send me a link when you can. Yeah, I'll drop it. Let me lay my thesis out and then we can rock on this topic. So yeah, man, I laid that out, man. But don't believe me. Don't believe me in my lying mouth right now in moment. I'm gonna come back to this one. And I'm gonna show you what I said a month ago. Because it don't matter what you say. Let people tell it if it ain't on wax. So mine on wax. So let me go ahead and share screen over to a video I did literally a month ago. So let's check it out real quick. And the name of the video I made was called KD Has Probably Sealed His Fate. So I went 40 minutes on this one, give you my commentary. And here's what I said. Let me see, let's make sure it's showing over there. Here's what I said exactly 1 month ago, 1 month and a few days. I did this video on July the 2nd. Listen to what I said a month ago. The best team for KD is stay his ass right where he is. That's the best team. Listen, man, you gotta stick out what you set to do, man. Because when you show that you don't honor contracts to the point of the comment earlier, no, it doesn't land favorably for people, man. Speaking of Pat Bear's bum ass, I wouldn't mind him going to Brooklyn and help them just get a little nasty. They need some nastiness.
I always got it off of Pat
They need
Bear.
to get Steve Nash to hell up out that coaching seat too.
Oh, what?
He's not a coach.
What? Hold on. Bring it back.
Speaking of Pat Bear's bum ass, I wouldn't mind him going to Brooklyn and help them just get a little nasty. They need some nastiness over there, man. They need to get Steve Nash to hell up out that coaching seat too, man.
To quote Pope, hello. Said this a month ago. They need to get him out of there. He can't coach. Well, if he can't coach, he ain't doing a good job of it because, goddamn it, they ain't got no motion on their offense. It looks stagnant. It's very predictable. Horrible. But let's keep going.
He's not a coach. And I think that's KD's main problem. Like, KD just needs a system. Because he's a guy who can play anything. But when you ISO him so much, man, when you get up in him, man, you can disrupt him a little bit. And I think most teams know that. That's why it's easy to guard. Kobe's in my top 5. You tripping?
So I've already pointed that out. It's Steve Nash. It's a Steve Nash problem. If you remember, KD likes to go places where organic basketball is played. Right? He wants to go somewhere where organic basketball is played, and that is not going on in Brooklyn, man. It is forced offense. It's bad offense. Like Pope say, hello. Again, man, I gave y'all prophecy on this a month ago, and I don't want to bore y'all with me just rambling because on this same stream, go back and fact check me. On this same stream, I went down and I stated that it's probably something going on with the front office too. I say it on here. I guarantee you. I said it's probably something going on with the front office because the Kyrie situation does not make sense. I said that on the stream. So I thought I said them back to back, so I said it a little bit down the line. But anywho, let's go back to what we're saying because, excuse me. I just want to let it be known it's other guys out here instead of people, on these news shows who try to project their own little storylines, and they're not thinking ahead properly. And I just want to say, hey, man, I'm giving you this game for free over here, man. You ain't got to pay for no subscription. You subscribe, and I tell you how I see it, man. Would I hit on everything? Probably not. But I like to believe I'm right more likely than not. I'll give myself at least that. With no inside information, I'm just going off the optics. I'm going off what I see, and I'm going off what people I'm going off like human psychology. Like if you tend to do things a certain way, that's what your character trait is. And if you do that way, so I'm going to think, okay, with a person with that type of personality type, how do they usually think in a situation like this? And that's how I come to my opinion. Anywho, let us proceed forward.
Well, a number of things. First of all, it makes me sad that, the audience has asked, some people have tweeted me, where's Brew this week? And, I don't want to reveal Brew's personal details, but I will. I mean, he was in London trying to arbitrate this meeting, hoping that Cy and Katie could come together. And, it's not, you say it's not true. I say it is true. Brew brokered this meeting like an old mafia don, thinking it could all come together. But unfortunately, the families are still warring. So here's what I've got to say, Antoine. I think Kevin Durant managed to checkmate a billionaire. I think
it seems like it a little bit. Now, it's only checkmate if he wins. What he seems to do is he has seemed to leverage his authority, aka throw his weight around to a billionaire, to Nick Wright's point. That isn't all wrong. Now, checkmate again is when you win the game. But he's put him in check at least. That's for damn sure. Between the Game Sports in the building says, yo, yeah, stick around, Will. I'm going to drop the link after I lay my thesis out, and you and Pope can come up here and rock if you want to. Man, I got my little night bot rolling, but obviously I ain't do it all the way right. So, we doing stuff better over here on this channel, man. So just letting you know, man. We're over here getting it in. And shout out again, he said Katie needs guidance. Well, I mean, he's 33 years old. I mean, he is who he is at this point. I don't think a 33-year-old want much advice, if I'm being honest.
I think Kevin Durant doing this, while I understand it might be unpopular and I understand it's going to cause a lot of hurt feelings, most notably from...
You can't see what I can see, but Antoine Walker look like Mr. Potato Head, bro. Let me go. He's always been a bigger guy, so I don't think he let himself go per se, but that dude look like Mr. Potato Head. Let me take the thing off real quick. Look at that boy Antoine Walker, man. Golly, boy. He is not aging gracefully. I'm sorry, man. I respect your game, though, Antoine, man. You just kind of like Mr. Potato Head. All right, let's get back to it.
Steve Nash, who was his handpicked coach, who KD right after the season said he was dealt a ridiculously tough hand. What do you want from Steve? He might have torched that relationship, but KD has now guaranteed that he will be traded. And that's what he wants. Here's why I say, Antoine, I think he checkmated him. If Kevin Durant actually wanted Steve Nash and Sean Marks fired in order to come back to the Nets, that would have been the opening salvo back in July when he had Rich Kleiman meet with Joe Tsai. That was not it. It was simply trade me. But now we are 6 weeks removed from that, Antoine, and he has not been traded, and there are rumblings that, hey, they might just try to run it back. And now Kevin Durant, by making this demand and then very fortuitously having that demand instantly leaked, has guaranteed that keeping him is untenable.
I gotta say, this is a good move because he waited a month before he re-upped his ante by him saying that, well, okay, if you don't trade me, then the corporate brass, as it were, they got to go. So that's very shrewd on his part, very Machiavellian, actually. So I got to give KD a lot of credit, man. If you're going to go for something like this, you got to go for something like this. And so for him to get us or them, so basically he gave them two options instead of giving them one strong option. So I never thought that would go favorably, just trade me, because there's no incentive. Now you kind of, so the reason why I say this is Machiavellian is now you can garner some public outcry on your part by saying, well, he told you, you get rid of the coach, because Steve Nash can't coach, which he can't. Sean Marks, I mean, I guess he's doing a good job. I don't know. I heard that the communication that he does is kind of poor. That's all I really know about Sean Marks, besides him being a scrub basketball player when he played, no offense. But now it's kind of like this, what they call the Hegelian dialectic, man, pressure from above, pressure from below. So now he's giving them two different avenues to make something happen. And so, again, this may land favorably for him when the things play out how they play out, say like the Nets don't move him. Then he looks like, well, he gave you an option, you didn't do one. Or if they do move him, like, well, listen, he had to do what he had to do. So very shrewd move on the KD, by KD and his camp.
Joe Tsai is not going to fire the GM and the head coach because of this. And I don't think you can ask the GM and the head coach, particularly Steve Nash, to work with Kevin Durant, whoever the whole world now knows wanted them fired as a prerequisite of him coming back. So now I do think
that's not a bad point. I think this may be, it can land unfavorably if KD basically is seen as as an extreme malcontent, like a guy who you can never please. So, like I say, it's shrewd, man. When you make shrewd moves, it can have definitely a windfall on a negative fashion the other way. So,
what he wanted, which is getting traded, he is guaranteed that it's going to happen. It had to get a little ugly, and maybe it'll get uglier. But Antoine, I'm of the belief that Kevin Durant did this strategically, knowing that Nash and Marks would not be fired, but instead he would get traded because of it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the shrewd part of it. It was a month after, and it was very specific. So again, very shrewd in where you're actually trying to get the ball moving. So again, kudos to him for executing this the way he did.
Well, Nick, I look at it a little different.
Before Antoine even go, I gotta say, I love you, Antoine Walker, man, as a player. Antoine Walker to me does not represent a guy with a lot of foresight. When I see him talk and I see his advice he gives on stuff, Antoine Walker is very surface level, man. Very surface level. Like he still runs his campaign for Russell Westbrook, and he's just in the way he prefaced the things he says. He says, well, you talking about a guy that won the MVP, a guy that averaged triple-double. Like, yeah, man, that's in the rearview mirror now, man. We talking about where he is right now. So I'm gonna approach this with trepidation, but I just want to lay out that Antoine Walker has a reputation for missing scope of things. But let's see what this brother got to say.
I was surprised that he wanted out, and this was the reason why he wanted out. I've been on Chris's side a little bit, and I'm going to defend Chris a little bit. I thought KD should try to run it back with Brooklyn. And then obviously after his reports yesterday, I see.
And this is a guy with connections, man. Antoine Walker's a connected man. And he's surprised. Like, I wasn't surprised at all. I was like, the Kyrie scenario does not make sense. Because he said it wasn't about Kyrie, so I'm going to take him at his word. What it seemed like is it was some poor communication from the front office, and Steve Nash with his poor offensive prowess and coaching skills, right? That may be the issue, because that was the issue in OKC. Now, KD never said it, but I mean, the optics read this way, and I got an insider who told me it's because of Westbrook. He left Golden State. Well, he went to Golden State for that very reason, that they run offense at a very high clip, and it was fun. It was a place that he could play his game. But he eventually left for a legacy play. No shame in that. But if you watch Brooklyn play these last 2 years, it's atrocious. And I knew it wasn't Kyrie, because they already knew what they was getting into with him. So everybody trying to pawn it on Kyrie because they just weren't forward thinking. And so I was like, it has to be the coach or Sean Marks. It has to be. And it's slowly coming out. So, I just wonder how people who plugged in, that they late to the party on this.
It's not going to be possible. So, but I look at it from a player's point of view. When you're a player, you get a coach and a GM that seems to want to do whatever it takes to make you happy contractually and to do whatever you can on the court. I don't see how you're upset with them, or they're the reason why you want to get traded. So I'm baffled by.
It's probably poor communication, Antoine. I think these dudes different from your era, man. In your era, you pretty much had to honor your contract all the way through. And I'm not saying I don't think guys should have to do that, but I'm just kind of delving into the psychology or the psychology of players these days. They don't view it the same way. So, it's not about what we expect it to be. It's about what it is.
KD saying that he wanted Steve and Sean Marks out because it seems like those two guys were.
I got to say this too. This sets a very dangerous precedent going forward, because if KD pulls this off successfully and they fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks, it's going to be really hard to find replacements, quality replacements, to come in there, knowing that the owner rolls like that. And B, it's showing that players got the ability to actually get rid of the front office. That is a extremely dangerous precedent as far as the league. So I would think, even if Sai wanted to do this, I would think Adam Silver would step in and would veto this, because this would be a horrible look for the league if players had that type of cachet.
We're behind KD 110%. And they've made some moves to try to really make this team better. It's unfortunate the James Harden move did not work. That's a big-time trade, and add a guy like that, you would think he'll be able to work. Now, whether that was Steve Nash's fault, that he couldn't make that work offensively or figure out the way that can work. And then obviously adding Kyrie in the beginning was a great move. Now, the only thing I can see up top that's a little shaky is the Ben Simmons situation, because you got.
No, it's not shaky at all, Antoine. He's not even played yet, dude. No, it's not shaky. It's not. We haven't, excuse me, unless Ben Simmons has been such an asshole, whereas he gets along with nobody. He's a guy that's deemed as unreliable. Maybe there's merit to that, but there's been no reports coming out of that. So it's not a miss at all, man. He hasn't played yet. And it was kind of understood he wasn't going to play. So I don't understand how that's a caveat going forward. So again, Antoine, he's always struck me as a guy who I'm not saying he can't think forward, but he doesn't think forward. So I gotta say, man, I gotta say, man, you're coming up short, my guy. Post says, right, Twan is sounding lost out there. Help that boy out. Yeah, man, he sounds lost, man. And again, I said this, I didn't even watch this segment at all, man. Shout out to new people coming in. Y'all hit that like button, please. Subscribe if you're new. But yeah, he sounds lost, man. I'm just like, nah, Twan. Nah, bro. You ain't quite hitting the mark. Let's keep going.
Yeah, because Ben Simmons got traded there, and you didn't know if Ben Simmons was going to play or not, and then obviously he ended up not playing and being a big saga too. So besides that, I think Sean Marks has done a terrific job of trying to build this team around KD, adding people.
I think he did a decent job based on the salary that KD and Kyrie have. I just think that team is missing a whole bunch of minutia. They're missing a whole bunch of ancillary pieces to help this team out. They need they need glue guys. Excuse me, I'm congested this morning. They need glue guys. They need guys who can come off the bench and score. And I think this team is very awkwardly built. So I'm gonna give him half credit for what he's done so far. I can't say he's done a good job per se.
Pieces, And then Steve Nash, a guy that gives you an offense, and you can do what you want on the offensive end.
That's not that's not a good thing, Antoine. What are you talking about, bro? That's not a good thing. KD don't want that kind of offense, man.
I don't know why those two guys are the main guys that's forcing you and want you out. But I do believe this, Steve. Nick, I believe this. I believe that he knows that they were going to bring him back. And I think he's at a point where he knows he doesn't want to come back. And that's why he made the stance. Yes.
Oh, man. Hey, man, somebody let's start a hashtag, man. Get a hoop jargon on first things first, man. Lord have mercy. No disrespect to Antoine Walker, man. He's an NBA legend in my eyes, always has been. But good God, like, what did he really say in that whole little blurb he just put out? In my opinion, he didn't say shit. In my opinion, he played defense the whole way. By defense, I mean he gave you no insight. He gave you basically reactionary to everything that's happened and basically said, I don't see how that happened. Like, come on, man. Don't you bring on people that have foresight on things like this? Can tell you, like, well, listen, based on this, I believe that this is going on based on this, and give you X, Y, Z as an example. Antoine, that whole way, just play defense. As far as his opinion, like, how does that add value to it besides the fact that you're a former NBA player? Good grief, man.
Today, I do believe that. I think he knew they were going to try to bring him into training camp, see if they can make this work, and he's making a stance right now to make sure that they do not do that.
Bring him in the training camp like they even start playing yet? What are you talking about? Come on, Antoine, man. Get together, brother.
Okay, so the only thing that has changed is that Kevin Durant has made an ultimatum. Now, allegedly, supposedly, Nick, Joe Tsai has to make a move on that ultimatum. But I don't believe that ultimatum is real. If Joe Tsai said, you know what? We're going to keep Sean Marks. We're going to keep Steve Nash. And the deals for you still don't really make sense for us. So now what are you going to do?
Now that's the most likely scenario. That you gonna listen, man. I know you Kevin Durant, but we got you on contract for 4 years, homeboy. You don't dictate a motherfucking thing around here. That's the way I would play it if I was the owner and got to. Now here's the thing: when you drop your nuts like that, so to speak, you got to be willing to deal with the results. And most forward-thinking alpha male men, that's kind of the world you have to operate in. And shout out to old YouTube creator, now he's on Patreon, Chronicles of Judah 144. That's called having a ruling class mentality. It's like, listen, man, it is what it is. So you're going to do what you're going to do after that. So if Sai had that type of brass, which it seems like what he's doing, that's the way you got to play it, man. That's the only way you can combat this type of demand from a player who has little to no leverage.
Because I think you think it's a checkmate. I don't. I think
bingo. It's not a checkmate. Thank you. It's not a checkmate unless you won. Thank you, Wiles.
Joe, I think it's a bluff because I still believe that Kevin Durant.
So Wiles doing a little different from me. I say it's a check, not a checkmate. He's saying just a straight up bluff. So that's a hell of an indictment, man. Because basically saying that KD knows his hearts of hearts ain't nothing shaking because he don't control that. So and if he sits out, and I said this back in that video I put out that he sealed his fate. He's probably sealed his fate. If KD sits out, he looks weak. So KD don't have a lot of wiggle room out of this situation, man. So this is rough, man.
It's not wired to sit out the year. So suppose Joe Tsai does nothing. Suppose Joe Tsai tells Sean Marks to say, you know what, keep looking for trades, see what we can get for KD. But if it's not in the best interest of the team, let's go forward. Do you think Kevin Durant doesn't show up? Do you think now that Kevin Durant will say, I'm gonna stay at my house. I'm not coming to camp. I'm not gonna play this year.
I think it's untenable to ask Steve Nash to coach Kevin Durant. I think that if it was in, Variety, that I said either fire Wilds or trade me to Fox Bet.
He want to say ESPN. He didn't want to say it.
To become their betting analyst. I want out of here. And they said, no, we're not trading you. Do the show with Wilds every day. You'd be like, hold on a second. That's not right. That is not the, and I don't think you can ask Steve Nash to have this be public and then somehow have control of a team, somehow coach a team. And I think Durant knows that. And again, I don't want to become a Durant apologist here, but I don't blame him for not wanting to play for Steve Nash. Steve Nash.
Same here, man. I don't want to be. KD's my favorite player, but I've been very critical of him on this channel. And if you don't believe me, just look at the videos. So I'm never amongst that crowd that says that I want a guy to just not honor his commitments. Whenever something don't feel right, you can just leave and jump around and all that. I don't believe in that. But at the same time, this is a pretty damn jacked up situation from a coaching and leadership standpoint. It just is. And I said this last year as well. Like, Steve Nash can't coach, man. Or he refuses to coach. I mean, maybe he can coach. He just kind of taking the back seat since there's so much talent. When guys like Kyrie have been on record to say we don't really need a coach. So maybe that's, Steve Nash has never struck me. Let me put it this way. He's never struck me as an alpha type of guy. So maybe that intimidates him a little bit, and maybe that affects the way he coaches because, he just doesn't feel comfortable being who he really is because these guys have kind of came in and just, laid the floor mat down and say, yo, this is how the inside of this building gonna look, man. Damn what you talking about. So maybe that's coming into play of what's going on. I'm only speculating, but maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's affecting Steve Nash. But reality is, based on what he's shown as a coach, he stinks, in my opinion.
Was in charge of vibes. The vibes were terrible. Someone was in charge of defense. The defense was terrible. Theoretically, Steve Nash should be
that's facts.
An offensive mastermind. They don't run an offense.
Bingo. Again, to quote the Pope, hello. That's what I just said, man. Like, they don't run an offense, man. And KD does not like that. KD does not like that. That is the problem. It's almost like when your kids don't know what's best for them. So Steve Nash came in as an ex-player, a two-time MVP, who said, I'm going to let my guys be them guys. And the guys is like, yeah, let's do it. But in your heart of hearts, you want discipline. It's like your kids, you come in and you feed them candy every day. You don't feed them nothing else but candy. Eventually, their stomach's going to hurt and their teeth going to fall out. And they're going to be like, man, well, why do you give us vegetables? You understand the analogy? So sometimes people need discipline. Let me give you another example. Eric Spoelstra came into the Miami Heat. And as I remember, Chris Bosh was like, man, he trying to make us play out his defense, man. We just chilling, though. But Spo came in and implemented, and they was also saying, well, Pat Riley need to come coach the team. Pat Riley's like, hell no, Spo my guy. Spo came there, made them start playing defense, and after they got their ass dusted off by the Mavericks, they came back tenaciously and beat KD and Westbrook, and they started locking in on defense, right? So it may not be what you want, but it's what you need. And it seems like in this situation, Steve Nash is a give you what you want kind of guy, where you need to ebb closer towards what you need. And this seems to be the backlash of him not stepping up and being a leader or an alpha in the locker room. Now you got all this chaos going on. Just my opinion.
It's KD, go get a shot. Like the iconic image of the Nash-Durant partnership is after Game 5 against Milwaukee 2 years ago, Nash thanking him for bailing them out. So I don't blame Kevin Durant for looking around and saying, yeah, Boston, you know what they were running? Sets and plays.
Thank you. Sets and plays matter, man. They matter. They just do. That's how you get championship level basketball, man. And so people always are talking about how many points somebody got and all this. Man, damn all that. I look at I look at the offense you're running. And that's why I said again, go back a few months ago when I covered the NBA Finals. I said that, Nick Wright, he's learned from his mistake a little bit, it seems like. But 2 months ago, Nick Wright was on some dumb shit, talking about how Jordan Poole got to average this and Klay Thompson got to average this on. And I said this in moment before each game. I was like, no, they don't. They got to run that damn offense, and it comes organically. Same deal here. KD he misses that. I know he misses that. So that's what's going on. So Nick Wright's finally learning his lesson, man. Salute to you, Nick Wright. Finally learning basketball, man. God damn it. It's been a short 10 years to get you there.
You know what we were running? Nothing. And so Antoine, tell me if you think I'm wrong here, but it was at some point you crossed the Rubicon of is this relationship tenable? And if you publicly say, I want to be traded because...
All right, so it shuts off after that. And so, man, I think I ran down my thesis good, man. I think I let you guys know why and what I feel about this situation. That KD, he's trying to force their hand now. Now, is this ultimatum going to work? We'll see. But to the point of what Wild said and what is contrary to Nick said, no, there ain't no checkmate by a long shot. It's not a checkmate by a long shot, man. But what he is doing is he putting some big boy pants on and he's coming to the negotiation table with a heavy hand. Because, I mean, to be honest, KD doesn't have a lot of plays. And the reason he doesn't have a lot of plays, he doesn't have leverage. You're 4 years into your contract. It's not like you have an expiring contract and there's extremely high demand for a 33 about to be turning 34-year-old guy who seems to be a little untenable, who seems to be a little bit of, of a malcontent. You gotta peep game on stuff like this, man. Shout out to Lil Twin, man. 50-50 Lil Twin. Peep game with Fendi lens, man. You gotta be able to see the reason why some of these things ought to be. And you know what? I'm gonna give you credit on this. KD, he does need guidance, man. Again, this is very Machiavelli. Now, if this does not work out, it's gonna not work out in a very bad way. So maybe he is getting guidance. Maybe that's why he's gone about this, because KD's never really been a force my hand kind of guy. He's always been a free flow, do whatever kind of guy. But I open it up, man. If you guys want to hop on the panel, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the trade scenario. Let's talk about does KD really have any real leverage in this scenario? Let's lay the whole thing down. Let's lay the whole thing down, because I just don't see it. And again, I'm not being Mr. Johnny Come Lately on this. I spoke about this a month ago. So until somebody hops up, let me go back to the video that I said a month ago. Let's just see if anything else that I said a month ago is applicable to what we're doing now. So, what's going on now, rather. Let's go back to that beautiful beam footage. All right, let's get it back on.
Well, my favorite player of all time. He can confirm that. Right. He been my favorite player since Kobe. Part 05 is pretty high. See, NCCU dog.
Let's get past that.
White Falcon 44 said Wade for that team. I think he got the same.
Well, let's get back to the KD.
Someday. Well, that day maybe is coming now, because this is a guy that has really good chemistry with Booker.
KD, don't listen to the Admiral. Do not take your narrow ass to Phoenix, bro. You will never end of it.
I still stand on that.
Do it. Reconsider.
I still stand on that, man. KD, do not go to Phoenix, man. You will never get the credit you deserve, bro. I'm telling you right now. All right, we got Sub-Zero in the building, man. Sub, what's up, man? All right, Sub is on.
What's up, brother? What's up with you, man?
Man, nothing much, man. What you got for us, bro?
Bro, I'm actually glad that owner said what he said.
All right, let's talk about it.
I got a feed. Are we getting double feedback?
Not on my end. You good on my end?
My bad. I had the damn thing playing in the background. But yeah, I'm glad the owner said what he said. I think, man, and this is not hatred. This is not jealousy. I'm 47 years old. I don't give a shit about basketball anymore like that. I barely watch it like I used to be honest with you. Not interested in it. I don't think it's a good product anymore. It's, and I think there's a lot of cats that want to skip certain steps to greatness.
Absolutely.
And then disrespect those who didn't skip the steps.
Absolutely. And
you got the ESPN and the media to help them skip those steps when it's their favorite guy. When it's not, they hold their guy accountable. They'll hold certain guys accountable if they're not in the clique, like Giannis. They don't like Giannis, so they're gonna dog him. This dude get Finals MVP, win the championship, and all that. Wasn't even in the top 3 discussion. Like, come on, man. According to JJ Redick. But this guy goes out here, does everything right, doesn't go stack his team. Let's be honest, if you take him off that team and let's put Embiid on that team is not as good. I don't care what you say. I don't think so. That's just me. And I think Embiid is one of the best top 3 players in the league. But just the way Giannis, plays, the passion, the desire, I think he's a old school throwback type of what we need. But these guys no longer believe in earning what they get. They just want to, come in, sign a contract, and leave. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist. If you're not the team owner, if you're not the guy who went out and spent billions of dollars to build a stadium, spent billions of dollars and all this money, taking risks to start these organizations, or not even just to start, but to purchase these organizations, those people deserve to be rewarded. Under no circumstances are the players on the same level as the team owners. And I'm going to be glad when they have those collective bargaining, when that is up and they can go back in there and strip these players of a lot of the rights that they have. Because it's the players' rights, the players. So now we down to 60 games a season. We down to, you sign a contract and then you leave literally the next 2 days later, you leaving. What do you sign a contract for? How are you committing to the team if you're signing a contract with a team? What does the team get out of signing a contract? You get your guaranteed money. They don't get a damn thing. You can sign a contract, just turn around and just, hey, I want to be gone. And then we have the audacity. You got people like Gilbert Arenas' stupid ass out here, making excuses for this bitch shit, man.
What he say?
That's why Gilbert Arenas makes excuses for all the players of this generation. Any shit they do, he tries to. Like I remember, he tried to defend Ben Simmons.
Okay.
When what's his face? I forget who was on his show, and Ben Simmons. He was talking about Ben Simmons, and then Gilbert Arenas was trying to. Well, I'm just saying, man. Man, he got that right. That it's just a bunch of excuse making. And I just think the single mom generation has ruined fucking basketball. They have just ruined that shit. The fact that you got a whole generation of brothers that was raised without their father, don't know who their dad is, and they get in the league, and you see it. They are wayward. They don't have any commitment. They don't have any dedication. And this is not me talking as an old head that's bitter and angry and sounding like an old man. I get sick of people trying to say, well, today, everything the players do today is right. It's just like Black Lives Matter. You see kids out there protesting and marching and burning businesses down, and then somebody say, hey, man, that's not a good idea. But you don't understand their frustration. You don't, wait a minute, bro. Just because you're young doesn't mean everything you do is right.
Yeah.
That's what we are today. Because you were raised without fathers, they don't respect elders. They don't respect the people that built the foundation for them to come into the game and be where they are today. And so they come along with this energy, talking shit to people that built this shit. I saw a guy, I think it was another guy who made a point. I was listening this morning, the guy said, look, man, Magic Johnson made $25 million over his whole career. You got guys that'll talk shit to Magic. If he pisses them off, they'll talk shit to him. And even Kyrie at the end of the season, like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to, manage the organization. Kyrie has the audacity to come out of his mouth and say manage, like he a monk. Bro.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though.
I don't know about you, bro, but if I build something, if I own something, you don't have the audacity to come out here and talk like you own shit
built. You don't have any ownership rights. And this is where I think this whole ideology of socialism being taught in our schools has taken root. And it not only will be destruction of the NBA, it's going to destroy it. Yeah, I think it's going to destroy the NBA in America. Put it like that. Now, yeah, people are saying, it's going to be a global league. It's going to be a global yeah, you're right. But a lot of these players in these foreign countries don't have the attitude that we have. I'm sorry. And so the league is going to be full of foreign players, and I'm rooting for it, quite frankly. To be completely honest with you, I'm rooting for the NBA to move to Africa. Fuck, man. Screw these Americans. When I say move, I'm not talking about the teams. I'm talking about the actual amount. It's going to be a bunch of stars from Africa and Brazil and places like that.
I got you. I got you.
Because at this point, the American youth, especially black youth, we have spent the last 4 or 5 years telling them everything they do is right. Their shit don't stink. Every decision you make is right. Burn down a business. Do dumb shit. Yeah, you have the right to do. You have the moral high ground to do the dumb shit that they do. And the NBA supported that shit. We got a dude on camera getting tased, reaching for a knife, getting shot, and they want to call off the damn playoffs. And then you wonder why. It's the same attitude.
Hey, check this. Like, because the whole argument is just like, it's always this construct that you can never really put pen to paper. So it's just like it's a utopia that, a counterculture utopia that you really can't prove it's wrong. So that's the whole premise. But we do have an example with that Chop and Chaz situation, where if you remember with Chop and Chaz, there was that little sovereign nation they formed in Seattle, and it was just all kind of debauchery going on there, murders, rapes, people getting their stuff stolen. So this is supposed to be the counterculture to shut down the police and all this stuff, right? You got your opportunity to go and form your own nation, quote unquote. Nothing but debauchery going on in there. So we have, and they messed up with that because we have anecdotal evidence to show now that that mentality is in the vein of chaos. It's not in the vein of building anything. So it's funny, like you said, that the NBA is latching on to that ideology because it's showing it does not work. It does not work when you give it its own sovereign, pedestal, its own sovereign opportunity. It's just a bunch of ball of chaos and angst.
I mean, but you got players that can beat their chest because they probably wealthier damn near than some of these owners. Like LeBron James is wealthier than Jeannie Buss right now. Like he literally is wealthy. Now he's not bigger than the damn Lakers organization. No, but he is wealthier than Jeannie Buss. He can literally look at her and talk shit because he's triple her net worth. I mean, he's just the first, he won't be the last. And one of my concerns is when you have that much wealth going into the hands of niggers. I said niggers with an ER.
You gotta explain that one.
Like my thing is what I say about this. Look, if you're gonna get this wealth and you're about black economic empowerment, and you really are about this shit that y'all talk, I'm all for it. But if you're gonna come up and you just gonna get all this wealth and talk all this shit on social media while bouncing up and down inside a white woman and not really building shit, why the fuck should I support you? Why should you have? Look, you can get what they can pay you. I don't have to support that shit. I refuse to support it. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's what I call. That's coonery to me.
But here's the thing: we're only concerned with the optics, though. From my most pro-black friends, they're only concerned with the optics. It's not about what it is in actual practice, about how it actually helps our community. They're not interested in that at all. Actually.
I mean, that's it. We saw this whole thing with they talk all that shit on Up in Smoke with Matt Barnes and all of them. They pulled that weak ass move in the playoffs back in 2015, 2016. They pulled that weak shit. LeBron was like, I'm not playing in the playoffs until he's no longer an owner. Well, I won't play next year. I won't play next year. I'm not going to play this year. But next year, he needs to be gone because he knew he's going to be gone that summer. Mm-hmm. Instead of you saying, look, man, let's we got him over the barrel. He's a billionaire. Let's do something to empower if they really about that shit. So let's go ahead and strip you of your moral high ground, which is your social justice angle. Now you just a bunch of selfish, self-entitled brats. Once you remove the whole facade of, hey, he gives back, once you remove that shit, which I really don't, and I'm not saying a lot of these guys aren't in their communities doing certain things on a smaller level, but the whole facade, like you just said, the facade, the front image of it. To me, I'm at a point, like Kevin Durant used to be my favorite player for years, bro. Years. But all this, the God this, the God that, like, nigga, wait a minute, bro. You know, I'm old school. I'm from Alabama. Like, brother, you don't need, I understand you in New York, you're in Brooklyn, but that show you can be impressed. Somebody can make an impression on you. That's what it means. Somebody can tell you something. You're not a real man to me. You're not. I don't respect none of these motherfuckers. I don't respect them because all of it is built on a facade of, and look, everybody now, any new player, any guy that wants to defend these guys, all you're gonna do is look at the rebounds and, well, he averages X rebounds and so-and-so assists and so-and-so PER. So you can't say that he's better than Charles. He's better than Charles Barkley because Barkley didn't win any rings. Barkley didn't. You can say all that shit. You and I both know if you're in a fight, who you want, right? If I'm in a real fight, I'm not saying Durant's not a tough player. I'm not saying he's not when he's up in a championship game. I'm talking about in a fight, not necessarily in a championship series. And even still, this year we can actually bring that into question, right? But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when I'm in a fight, as far as being on a team like that he on right now. What would Barkley have done? Barkley, I don't see Barkley showing up in Miami in 2011 and doing that shit that happened to LeBron. I'm not shitting on LeBron, one of the greatest of all time, okay? I know how people get about LeBron, but I'm just saying. And so what I'm saying is, we've kind of gone away. And then you got people like Draymond, who was quiet these last 2 years, guys. Let's go back. The last 2 years, ever since they went to the finals and everybody got injured, he was quiet. Oh yeah. He didn't do this dude didn't average 10 points a game. He was leading the league and getting kicked out of games, all that. All of a sudden, Draymond got his voice back when they go to, like, all of a sudden they sneak and win a championship. Nobody expected them to win this year. Now he back bumping his gums again. Yeah. I don't got no respect. He is a single. He had, to me, every time I see Draymond, I think he reminds me of a ratchet hood, like a ratchet hood rat.
Oh, it's the perfect archetype.
He's
I bet he got that from his mom. I bet.
Yeah.
It's a perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
He is a ratchet hoodwink. I got friends in Michigan that tell me he act just like that. And he real disrespectful in Michigan. He's an asshole. Yeah. From people, I can get him on here with you in seconds if you think I'm lying. And that's the thing. Like, so this guy who shouldn't be able to lace the sneakers of Dennis Rodman is talking shit about they'll blow out. Man, look here, man. And I call my homeboy. This is what I'm saying about this generation. Everything they do is right bullshit narrative. No, things can move back. Everything doesn't move forward just because time changes. Like, that's like saying everybody that is 60 years old is wise, right? There are a bunch of stupid 60-year-old motherfuckers out here.
Absolutely.
And but just because the league has evolved doesn't mean that everything is better. Yeah, medicine is better, science is better, players are able to do certain things physically and last longer. But what I mean is, when it comes to the mentality, the toughness, the mental toughness, the intestinal fortitude of a lot of shit that I see, no, man, this shit ain't the same. It's not. And when I see a dude like that talking shit about how they would have beat the Bulls, and I'm sitting like, bro, Scottie Pippen would have clamped up Durant. I just believe that. I'm sorry. We just saw your boy do it. I believe a healthy Scottie Pippen in '96 would have clamped his ass up. Nobody stopping Mike. Rodman would have got 30 rebounds a game because they ain't got nobody in the paint. They wouldn't even went down on the offensive end of the court to get the damn ball. Rodman would have got so many rebounds. He would have got 30, 40 rebounds on these cats a game. Rodman was averaging a bunch of rebounds in the era of bigs getting these rebounds. You tell him he can't average all the rebounds. He'll average double that now. What you think, Draymond gonna keep him off the glass? Who's Draymond gonna check? You better check Rodman because he damn sure don't want to check Jordan. So I mean, he's saying he would beat them by 20 or 30. Disrespect. You never heard the Jordans, man, we would beat the Celtics by. He says like, man, no, I wouldn't respect. I want to disrespect those guys like that. And to his, Mike might have been an asshole, but he knew in foresight that I'm gonna be retired one day. It's this era of youth where the kids have not been raised by fathers in the house. They don't respect people that came before them. And it's not just in that. It's in hip hop. You see it in hip hop. You see it out on the streets and how people talk to older people. You see it. And so we've gotten away from traditional family values, and it's even affected sports. It's affected hip hop. Look how they talk about the old rappers like they ain't shit. Listen to some of these mumble rappers in interviews and the shit they say. Disrespect.
Well, let me say this too. I think Joseph on the Facebook side had a good point about kind of how the culture is these days. He said, remember when Booker got mad because he was getting double teamed on the court during the off season that was so weak. Yeah, man. I like Devin Booker as well, man. But dude, you're an NBA player who just came off your 71-point, campaign or whatever, right? Dude, if they sitting 2 to you, so be it. Be the double team. And the thing is, this society now likes a lot of safe spaces. They like things to be nice and posh, nice and non-threatening. And it does, let's just call it. We are older head guys. You 47, I'm 38. It does kind of rub me the wrong way a little bit. And I try to understand things and be upset at things. So I get it, I really do. But that is kind of what it is, and I think that it's almost like a veneer that this product is better because these guys are more athletic and more quote unquote skilled. But when it comes down to wartime stuff, like you were saying about Barkley, there's a lot missing. It's a lot missing, man, and it's easy to see, man. So it is what it is. And so again, Draymond Green, a guy I've been high on since Michigan State, to hear the stuff he says, I'm like, dog, that makes no sense, man. That makes no sense, the stuff you're talking about, because you were, like you said, in 2020, 2021, you were mighty quiet, my boy. When Steph got out and it was like your team to run. So all that camp that said that Draymond Green was this kind of guy, he a future first ballot Hall of Famer, and he just, if he had his own team, he could carry it. You got a chance to see it, and Draymond Green damn sure can't do it.
He couldn't even average 10 points. It's like I can see it. Okay, not only that, you in a system that you've been in the whole time, and there was nobody there but you and Jordan Poole, and he was young. He was leaning on you for leadership. Mm-hmm. And what did you do? Got suspended in every big game when y'all was on TV. You got kicked out the game. You got in foul trouble. And he literally in the finals this year, they had to bench him because he was costing the team. And it ain't just that, man. Let's keep it a buck, bro. Like Draymond to me represents this fake tough guy. Like, what was this tough guy when what's his name slapped the shit out of him some years back? When what's his name, Tristan Thompson slapped his ass back in like 2017. What happened? Where was the tough guy then?
Hey, man.
What was this street guy? You talking about you the new media? You the bitch media. You scared to criticize. You can't criticize your own people. Anybody playing the NBA can't get criticized by these players. They always take the player's side. I don't respect the new media. It's just saying that the media, that you motherfuckers got a mic and you don't want nobody to hold your ass accountable when you averaging 8 points a fucking game when you've been talking all this shit for all these years. That's what you don't want. You don't want nobody to come out and be like, yeah, man, but you talked all this shit to Charles Barkley, who was a dog, a straight dog. He is in my top 10. He that damn good, right? And yet, you say that this dude who averaged 8 points, 7 rebounds, 9 and 5 assists is a first ballot Hall of Famer and greater than Charles Barkley. And you the new media, when they put the mic to your face, now you can never say anything negative about a player in the league because it's a fraternity. So it's a fraternity. So you had a guy went from averaging 22 points. Ben Simmons is refusing to play the game, but you don't know what Ben Simmons is going through. Instead of being, that's why I don't want the new media. I take the old media. I'd rather listen to Stephen A. Smith and these guys who never even played the fucking game than listen to these motherfuckers that say, just because I'm a player, you don't know what it's like. So I got to take the player's side. And then when a player been retired long enough and they start telling the truth and say, yeah, man, he's not playing well. He got to do better, You get to go on these shows and talk shit and take jabs at the older players. You old heads are jealous. That's the first word out your mouth because you're getting a $25 million contract and you know you ain't that fucking good, but you're getting $25 million and you talking shit to dudes that if they had been in your era would have took your heart out your chest and ate it. That's what I don't like. And then you call that shit the new media. The fuck is Draymond talking about? New media. We the new media. It ain't no fun when a rabbit got the gun. Like, nigga, shut up. And that's the thing. Him, Kevin Durant, this is what KD need to do. If I was KD, this is just my personal opinion. For you to lose and get bitched up like you did, instead of you going and trying to run, you find Ben Simmons and you beat his fucking ass. You slap the shit out of him and you tell him the bitch, you be in training camp first day, and then you go that summer. If I was Kevin Durant, I'm taking fucking steroids. I'm doing what the fuck I gotta do. I'm putting on 10, 15 pounds of muscle, right? And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna whoop and I'm going bananas on the fucking lead. That's what I would do. That's what Kobe would have did. When Kobe shot them eyeballs, what did he do that next year? When Kobe lost and went home in the first round and they was laughing at Kobe and he had that rape case and all that shit was going on, what did Kobe do?
Came back with bananas.
Straight destroyed the league. Like, it was undisputable, right? This is the thing. How do you choose to respond? Trade me. Because you're a coward. That's it. I'm tired of this shit, man. You can't and we gotta sit here you can't say that. It's like with Andre 3000. Andre 3000 said he never wanted to criticize this new generation because he old and we out of touch. That shit only goes so far though. That's just like me on my channel. I criticized the shit out of Black Lives Matter because I thought it was stupid. Because I went to the website and read the fucking bullet points of the damn. I'm like, well, wait a minute. These motherfuckers say they're against the nuclear family. They say that they support all this queer farming and all this. What the hell is that? I said, okay, no, I can't support this. And everybody's like, Black Lives Matter. I said, okay, so just because your ass is under 25, you haven't read shit. If I sit and try to tell you, hey, this is what it means, you don't want to listen, it doesn't mean you're right because you're young. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. You really are doomed if you're being ran by a bunch of 20-year-olds any fucking way. Because you ran by a bunch of people that don't have any experience and understand shit. And I know people love to try to be contrarian. And, oh, well, you've been up here ragging against the youth. I'm not ragging against the youth. I have a 6-year-old son. I have no problem with, kids taking the mantle and pushing things forward. But this shit right here, right now, is finna hurt the next generation of basketball players. It's gonna hurt our grandkids. If me and your grandkids fuck around and ever be lucky and blessed enough to make it to the NBA, because of the shit these niggas is pulling right now, they're gonna be on. They're gonna probably be on 3-month contracts.
Hold on 1 second. Let me hop on real quick. 3-month contract, month to month. Memphis says, "Come on, it ain't got nothing to do with Kobe or rap. This guy let you speak." Well, I disagree. So, in the vein that we're talking about is how like popular culture has infringed upon professional sport, and it's the same. It is the same mentality that is kind of affecting these multiple outlets. And what he was saying, from a standpoint of basically, and it's called being a nihilist, where you don't latch on to anything. Everything is just, I kind of committed to it. Nah, contract, that don't really mean nothing. Nah, commitment, nah, I don't have to do that. So all these things permeate over all forms of entertainment, especially stuff we see that's more palatable, like rap and situations like that. So that's what he's saying. It's basically it's a roundabout analogy to compare what the current state of the league is based on how society is molded to be so. So that's what this whole his diatribe is about. So I know you say he's been ranting. Sub is long-winded. That's my guy. But I let him rock because I talked for 40 minutes already. So if you want to come in and drop, his perspective, that's all good.
I mean, look, he can come in and be contrarian. That's what I'm saying. I suspect somebody will probably come up here and be like, "Oh well, he just these kids are better. They can shoot better. They can do. They're gonna come up with that weak lame shit. Same shit we've been saying forever. And watch these motherfuckers bitch up. Top 3 players stacking up on one team. Ain't nobody saying shit. And so I'm just saying they have no respect for people that put them there where they are. Draymond Green talks shit to Charles Barkley. I saw prime Draymond. I saw prime Charles Barkley. I saw prime Draymond Green. Draymond need to shut the fuck up. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, to me, at the end of the day, he's saying, what does this have to do with rap? I'm saying that this generation, current generation of basketball players don't respect the people that built the league that they're in, that affords these little guys in these little small market teams to get $200 million contracts. You got this $200 million contract because some guy was making $700,000 back when he was averaging 28 points a game back in the day. Some guy was averaging 26, getting 250. And so now you can get, 25, 40, 30, 45 million plus endorsements and shit like that. And I think it's a bunch of spoiled, entitled brats. That's what I think.
Well, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
That's just me.
Say, because and I talked about this yesterday with my boy Sammy about qualifiers, man. And it's funny how in this space, when we start talking about players, that all the qualifiers go, well, he had a hard coming up. Well, he's from a single mother household. Well, you don't know his situation. Damn all that. They ain't got nothing to do with the brass tacks of it, which is sports, which is basketball. Like, I need you to be on that foxhole ready to go. Are you ready to go? Yes or no? That's all.
And I agree with that, man. And the guy saying it ain't got nothing to do with it. Tell that to these ESPN motherfuckers that every time these motherfuckers get over 30 points, they say they better than these guys we name it. How about that? And then we won't bring them up. You see what I'm saying? We won't bring these guys up. But every time you cut the TV on, Kyrie hit 60, they say he's the greatest fucking damn offensive player all time. Just because he hit a 60-point game against Orlando Magic. So, yeah, they're the reason. ESPN has made the climate of every time a motherfucker go over 35 points, he's GOAT status. And so, yeah, I'm going to look at Kobe and say, well, I remember when Kobe was in these tough times, this is what Kobe did. Because when I see this guy right now, and I look at Kevin Durant, he's in tough times right now. What is he doing? He's running. Yet again, running to trying to go to the best teams in the fucking league. The Miami Heat, who just damn near was one or two pieces away from the finals. Shit, what's the name? 1 or 2 injuries away from the finals. That's where he want to go. You don't want to earn shit. Now, this team in Brooklyn has been given everything he wanted. He was given everything he wanted in Brooklyn. Now he want to run. You told him to go get James Harden. You chose to go over there and join Kyrie. You could have been working on this 4th, 5th ring by now, but you want to go jump over there to Kyrie because you worried about the media and what they say. That's so yeah. This shit has nothing. For you to say it has nothing to do with Kobe. I'm saying there have been people in the past who faced adversity and didn't choose to run and stack their teams, and yet they choose to rank these guys above these guys all the time. That's what I'm saying. Kyrie was just called one of the greatest offensive player of all time after a damn 60-point game. Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is what they do all the time. Like, people act like you can't cut the TV on and see this shit being done. You got generations of players people that have been raised that don't know this shit. They just, so you look at me and I sound like a hater. I'm not a hater, man. I'm not a hater. I like Giannis. I'm gonna sit up here like, yeah, man, I love Giannis. That's what I came in here and said. I said Giannis did it the right way. He worked hard. He built it. What Steph did this year, if I'm gonna be honest, Steph, the way he came, stayed with his team, and got his team through, got his Finals MVP. He broke through this year. I respect what Steph did this year. There's a difference in what Steph did, and then going in. If you're a top 3 player and go join another top 3 player, there's a difference. Steph didn't do that. Giannis didn't do that. That's me. Now, some people don't see nothing wrong with that. But this whole idea that it's the players' league and we gonna do what we gotta do, no, bro. No. So yeah, you don't like it, fuck it. It's tough.
Well, let's be
honest. Gonna change my opinion.
Let's be honest, whenever you come into a situation and you are counter to like what the go along, get along is, the company line is, you're met with the label of being a hater. And I mean, it's something that I'm used to, so I'm okay with that. I mean, listen, man, I done put out 6 videos on Russell Westbrook from 2 years on and to now about his decline. And at first, people was getting a lot of pushback to me. That's when he left to go to the Wizards. I was like, this dude is done, man. And again, not done where he's not gonna get stats, but he's done in the sense that like he's not gonna give you productive basketball no more. And so 6 videos later, everybody came around the train. So you got to be able to take those lumps on the front end because one of the biggest things in history has shown is if you have a forward-thinking mind, a lot of people are gonna meet you with adversity on the front end. And I'm not a follower, but I mean, just look at the story of Christ, man. Like what he's saying wasn't favorable, but it was what the people needed. So I think like a good example is I believe that these guys are being met with controversy. Yes, but why is that? We're in the social media age, and if you juxtapose that, you have these debate shows where people are constantly giving their opinions. So it's not like they're in the same environment, but they're just getting hated on more. No, they're not in the same environment. They're in a different environment. And so because you have social media, because you have these debate shows where people are sitting up there giving their opinions, and because you need people giving ratings. So I saw a video yesterday, a guy was saying up in 2016, after winning the championship, Shannon Sharp said he had to win, LeBron had to win 2 or 3 more championships before he can even touch Jordan. Now all of a sudden Shannon Sharp said he to go. What happened? What changed? Exactly. What changed? He won 1 bubble championship, now he to go.
Oh, I'm gonna give you one. Nick Wright said if LeBron won a championship last year, that count for 2. Like since when do 1 championship count for 2, bro? Like again, these dudes be making stuff. Let me address this comment. Let you keep rocking. No, so Memphis team, you say not one word of comments that I say anyone was a hater, but that's automatic. No, here's the thing. I'm not talking about you in particular. We're kind of riffing off the notion. So I know you're commenting as we're talking, but no, the stuff I come with is not off of one person. So I'm not accusing you of anything, Memphis. I'm talking about the vein of the whole thing. And that's what Sub is too. Like he's not factoring in your personal opinion. It's about how.
Bro, I don't know Memphis. I don't know Memphis team. You from Memphis? You're a Memphis fan. Good luck to Memphis. I hope Ja get it done. You know what I'm saying? Ja talking shit about what he did to Jordan. Yeah, okay. But like I said, I hope he get it done, man. I hope Zion get it done, man. I want to see that. I want to see parity. I want to see old school players go at it in their prime. I want to see a fight, damn it. That's what I want to see, people going to the rim and motherfucker trying to knock their fucking teeth out. That type of defense. Where if you get a dunk, you earn that motherfucker. That type of shit. That type of fight that's what that's better for us as the fans. To see people fighting tooth and nail. Not motherfucker knock somebody down. Oh, hey man, you all right? You gonna be at the party tonight? That type of shit, it doesn't make for good competition. I'm not built like that. To be fighting the motherfucker tooth and nail and we boys. I'm gonna hold back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was talking about Giannis didn't want to work out with LeBron or some shit. Giannis ain't in the clique. You notice he's been getting a lot more hate this year. From even everybody gave. I was like, that's who getting some hate. That's a guy who got a lot of hate, and I felt like it was unwarranted hate.
I would say doubt and just dismissal. You get a lot of doubt or dismissal, man. It's just like,
and I'm like, they even talking about the boy don't got no skills. I'm like, what you talking about, man? Stop him. That's like saying Clyde Drexler only got one hand. Can you stop him from going that way? Which that's not true. He can go both ways. But let's say he couldn't go but right. Could you stop him from going right? Well, what difference does it make? If you can't stop Shaq from dunking the basketball, I don't want to hear about he couldn't shoot no 3. He's still a top 10. He is still a top 10 guy. You see what I'm saying?
That's what my argument I always make about proficiency, man. It's like, listen, man, you don't have to do 8 things good. Are you proficient enough at the things you're good at? It doesn't yield results. If it does, listen, man, that's enough. And that's why people are always on this. You don't do 3 different things, and you don't got assists, rebounds, and points. No, everybody doesn't have to do that. Everybody does not have to do that to play at a proficient level. To your point about, in the post, if you fishing in the post and you just can fry everybody down there, you don't need a step out 3, right? You don't need a quote unquote full game per se if you are proficient enough in what you do.
That's it, man. I feel like ultimately I'm not, I know, and that's usually when I come on here, I'm complaining. Yeah, I am complaining. I admit I'm complaining, and nobody likes to hear complaints. Everybody, it's just natural human nature to want to hear somebody like me and go against, especially if you're young and you ain't seen shit but this era. Like if your ass was, when Mike was retired in 98 the second time, and your ass was in diapers, you gonna think I sound like Chinese to you. I know I do. Right? If you still in your 20s, I sound like I probably somebody would. I know he probably don't want me to. You want to take that word away. That's why, you hating on the young generation. You hating. It's not hating, man. It's not. One thing I remember when Mike did his thing, older players would say shit about Mike, but Mike was like, okay, I'm gonna earn their respect and I'm gonna do what it takes to be the best. Right? Mike wasn't like, man, the hell with him, I'm better than him. Like, it wasn't none of that. This is the first generation, and I had to say it has to do with them being single moms, raised by single moms. This first generation of people that don't have that reverence and respect for people that came before them. Like JJ Redick. Who the hell JJ Redick think he is, man? Let's be real, dog. Who is JJ Redick? JJ Redick is a white boy that got lucky. I'm being straight up. He can shoot. You know how many white boys can shoot? I went to Brazil with a white boy. I'm telling you something. Now I put that white boy up against JJ Redick any day. Sick handles and will pull up and wet your ass up. I don't give a damn how good play defense you play. You can be 6'6". He gonna wet you up. Now play like a brother. Wet. And could fly. It could fly too. JJ Redick was good. He played at Duke, right pedigree. JJ Redick was good at a young age and wound up at Duke. If JJ Redick had developed at 22, his ass would been overseas somewhere. that's the truth.
See the comment on the screen?
What?
That JJ Redick said old players was a plumber, but I was like, man, I said this in my last video. JJ Redick is dope. Listen, man, and no disrespect to what he was as a shooter. JJ Redick was a dead-eye shooter. And I give him full credit for parlaying that career, because I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the people like JJ Redick, nowhere in hell he gonna make an NBA. And he made me alive. It was like 2002 when I said this. And look where he's gone, over the years. So I give him full credit for what he's, carved out as a player. But when he fixed his mouth to talk about like guys are plumbers, like, hold on, bro. When the last time you dunked in a basketball game? When the last time you blew by somebody in a basketball game? You are universally known as a spot-up shooter, bro. Like, so
that's it.
Where does this shit come from? But I tell you where it comes from. Like you talking about earlier with the social climate. JJ Redick is one of them white dudes who understands black people. And when you are one of those kind of white dudes who understands black people, in my opinion, you try to play that self-deprecation role, whereas you take away from yourself, but you try to empower the other sides. So like basically showing I'm down. That's what JJ Redick on. He on that Michael Rappaport shit. And I can slip those dudes out easy. And them dudes don't move me, bro. Them dudes don't move me at all, man.
Yeah, he one of them guys that hung out in the locker room with all the brothers on the team. You play basketball your whole life, you're gonna get around brothers a lot of times. And so they think they're honorary brothers. I get it. And so he's very liberal. That's when I remember he told the other guy, Mad Dog guy, he was like, you sound like you from Fox News or something. It was either him or the other guy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and everybody had a fit, like, oh yeah, I'm so glad he said that. And I was like, no, that's not the way. Just because the guy was saying, and it was some basic point he made about the guy was like, I don't want to see something. He said something about it was about basketball, but he made it about race. And look, man,
man, it is what it is, man. Those guys are easy to point out. I mean, Fox News is a buzzword. If you throw out Fox News, that throws a lot of black folks into a tizzy. Hey, listen, man, Fox News ain't affecting your life, bro. And to be honest, a lot of stuff discussed on this stuff you probably should listen to if you want to understand how the world actually works.
Yeah, if you want to hear the middle down the middle, and I'm not a Fox News fan because they anti-Trump anyway.
Don't watch that shit.
Yeah. I don't watch. I might catch a clip of Tucker Carlson here and there, but that's about it. But this stuff that we see going on in this today's NBA climate has to do with the type of players that are in the NBA. The social justice, the lack of accountability to people. Like Ben Simmons should have been called out by the league alone. I'm talking about the league, not the media. The players should be talking about his ass.
Agreed.
They're not calling his ass out. He's a coward. The dude is running. Okay, everybody sees it. He does not want to play. They say he was on a call with them. They needed him in Game 4 last year against Boston. This nigga just hung up. He just hung up, bro. Like, where they do that at? What type of generation of ball player is that, man? I remember when he was coming out, his rookie year, that Pro A, the summer league. He played 2 games and rested, and everybody defended it. It's like, well, come on, man. I mean, he just tired. He needs a little. Like, he hadn't even played in the NBA. He needs 2 games of rest. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the summer. Have you ever seen anybody in the summer league need to? Think about when you was 18, 19. Bruh, I would get up, go to run and shoot at 2:00. And leave run and shoot at 10 o'clock at night, cramping. I would play 2 or 3 games, like all day, every day. Like I played on one court. We'll stop, go sit on the side, rest, buy some drinks, sit there and talk. Go play on another court, stop, sit on the side. This me, Hot Sauce, Spider, all of us used to be playing together back in the day. What happened? You 18, you supposed to be an NBA prospect. Your ass need rest. I knew then.
I'll tell you what happened, sir. Man, when I used to coach AAU in 2014, man, like, I had kids like, man, we got to play 3 games in one day. I'm like, 3 games in one day? That's nothing. What?
That's nothing, bro.
What?
That's nothing, man. We get up Saturday morning in the summer and play till 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Keep this. And these dudes were on my team to learn how to get on varsity. So these dudes who were juniors who didn't make JV. I'm like, dog, y'all have no clue what it takes to be on the next level. Y'all got no clue.
That's what I'm saying.
We're playing here.
Bro, how many of you done play and you cramped up real bad, had to lay on the side, they had to push. I played till I cramped, bro.
Yes.
And got mad when I cramped because I wanted to play.
You want to hoop? Yeah.
That's how bad I was. What is it? Do I love the game more? I don't think so. I ain't gonna go there. But so I'm saying, when you love the game, bro, you'll play all day, man. You had to beg me, like, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna go that long and not play. Well, I got hurt in my 30s. I hurt my right knee. I hyperextended it. Bro, it took about a month for it to heal. You know why? I kept playing. I would shoot jump shots and couldn't even jump. Straight up. Just kept playing. I just would not stop playing the game. And I'm just saying, bro, like, it's just, to me, am I telling you, like, man, you've been sitting up here dragging these players, Look, man, Kevin Durant was my favorite player up until probably the last 2 or 3 years. I always liked Giannis. I liked him when he first appeared on the scene. When I finally he got on my radar. I like Steph. But, at the end of the day, so I'm not just like 100% F all these players. They all a bunch of trash. I like John Morant. I like his heart. I love his heart and passion for the game. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, there's a part of me that's just like, there's an era of players, the older players, the 30-something guys, they might need to just go, bro. Ben Simmons included. I'll be glad if they leave the game. LeBron, Kevin Durant, they can go. They can leave. Draymond, they can go. Those 3 guys right there, I'll be glad when they leave the NBA. The ratings will probably spike up if those 3 left.
Probably. Well, I understand, instead of being upset about things, I try to understand things. That helps me know what's going on, and I'm not like in a tizzy. I'm not like in a situation where I'm not informed, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. So it's hard to accept it, this new generation, because, it's weak, in my opinion, as far as the mental game. The mental game, not the actual product on the floor.
But the mental is everything, bro. You and I both know it.
Yeah, I got critiques on that too. But however, I just understand it. But I'm gonna be a part of the old, quote unquote, old media, not in the sense of like traditional media, but I'm not gonna let just all these new ideas just pass unchecked. Like you said about Draymond with this podcast, I'm not gonna let him just ride with that. You can't criticize no players kind of thing. Because as a part, and you mentioned about NBA being a fraternity, which is true. I'm actually part of a fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. You know, Martin Luther King was an Alpha, Marshall, Jesse Owens, the names going on and on. I call out shit we do within the fraternity all the time. That's why I don't go and do buddy, all that shit. Because I'm like, man, y'all say one thing, but it ain't really helping our society how y'all think. Because we know it's extremely left-leaning, extremely on like, protest-centric. I'm just like, dog, what has this done? I don't even want to go too far in that, but I'm saying that to say,
no, that's just like the NBA. That actually guides right into this social justice leftist ideal of things where everything from the left is right for black people, for the black family. Everything is right. Putting black boys in dresses is good for the black community. Right? Like telling a black boy he can choose to be a female is good for the black. Like this is all of this, the emasculation of black men. That's why they got rid of the brother from DC. What's his name? The one that they hate. I forgot his name. Irritated Genie. They got rid of him because those types of guys would call that stuff out. The masculine black man that will actually be that watchdog that will call things out, call things down the middle, has been silenced. Demonized and silenced. They hate masculine black men.
At least in the mainstream, because on YouTube, there's plenty of microphones for
But yeah, there are. That's the thing, though. But those brothers are ostracized even within this space. And a lot of times when you start getting into these discussions and you delve into the weeds, the true masculine black man today would probably be called the coon. I mean, let's keep this above. Like, really start going in on Marxism and communism and talking about the Paul Robeson. Say you don't like Paul Robeson in some of these spaces. Watch how these cats go crazy. Certain things are untouchable. And until you can touch everything and be objective and plan everything and tell it how it really is, you'll never really be able to get to the bottom of a lot of stuff, man. I found out some stuff about Paul Robeson that made me look at him different the other day. I didn't even know some stuff. I ain't gonna go into it, but but this guy was lauded as a hero when I was a kid. That's Paul Robeson. He was this, he was that. He was an actor. Paul Robeson is like on some other stuff that we didn't know about. But it serves the it's really, the thing is, like, I don't want us as blacks being, I guess, what's the word? Being taken and used to further an agenda. And that's what I think a lot of these players are today. They further certain agendas. The whole Black Lives Matter situation furthered an agenda. The NBA, the players, everything, this whole social justice stick that a lot of these players are on, it furthers an agenda. And that's why Kyrie, that's the way I look at Kyrie like that. I look at Kyrie like, I used to actually like Kyrie at first till I found out how crazy he is. I used to like Kyrie. I liked his game. And I like the fact he left LeBron. I actually liked when he left LeBron. I thought that was a good move. You know what I'm saying? I think LeBron came there to ride his back, to be honest with you. Because he saw how good he was. He's like, man, I can get this and get that. I mean, LeBron was still in his prime. I'm not saying he wasn't good. But he thought, man, I can take this young horse right here and he'll hit all the clutch shots that I need when he'll do all the big things I need him to do. And in certain moments, I just give him the ball and get back and watch him cook. That's what he knew. Because he knew in the last, if you look at analytics, that's why you'll see quickly why he went back to Cleveland. All you got to do is look at the analytics in 2015, 20, yeah, somewhere in there. Look at the analytics when Kyrie was on the court in the last 5 minutes of a game before he got there.
Here's what you're trying to say. He tried to usurp that young energy out of Kyrie and rechannel it to help him.
But yeah, but also, no. It's not just that. If you look at the analytics, that's why he got Danny Granger to come to Miami. Danny Granger was like top 2 in the league in the last 2 minutes as field goal percentage. That's why he got him. LeBron studied the analytics. That's what it is. That's why he traded for him. Because he knew that was his weakness. In the last few minutes of a game, LeBron is like 30%. And he knows that. So he said, let me go get this guy over here. His field goal percentage drops way down in the last few minutes of the game. And that's why he wants to play. If you look at the guys, the moves he's made, it's always been to fill those analytical gaps that he himself lacks. He knew Kyrie, if you look at Kyrie as a player, he filled a lot of gaps for him. Defensively, he didn't, but he knew he can go get those pieces. So, look, man, I got to go, man.
That's cool,
I
man.
enjoyed it, bro. I enjoyed it, man. Have a good one, man.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, as we cross almost at the hour, 30-minute mark, man, shout out to Jared Schuyler coming in at the last little part of the show. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Great discussion. Love the panel. Great points y'all making. Appreciate it, man. And, you know, this channel going to get more people in here as we stay consistent, man. I appreciate y'all lending me your ear, man, for X amount of time. Because, I mean, over here, man, again, I know some things may be abrasive. I know some things may not be with the company line, but we're going to tell the truth over here, man. And not the truth that's laced in trying to be part and parcel with some type of movement, to be part and parcel with some type of sentiment. It's just the truth as it is. So, and I like the pushback. I like Memphis was coming in with his commentary. Listen, man, it's never offensive over here if you don't agree with something that's been said by me or a panelist, at least not from my view. I want you to challenge things I say if it doesn't make sense. I want you to come in with your own opinions. And then we can meet ourselves in the middle ground, or we can just see who's right and who's wrong. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. That's not a bad thing at all. So, with this all being said, just spam in the chat. Naked. Maybe funny, man. Once you get a screen popping, man. Shout out to Nightbot of stepping in as an admin and doing that for me. But to get back to the point, we try to give you truth as we view it all the way through. And so I told you about this situation with Kevin Durant, man. And shout out to Cole and Sticks in the building. Yeah, you late, bro. You about an hour and 24 minutes late, my guy. But with the KD situation, you didn't have the leverage. You double down. You want to get rid of Nash and your boy Sean Martin. Cool. Now, I hope he has a third card to play down, because now you put Joe Tsai in a position. Joe Tsai has said that he's going to go with his coach and his GM. So I wonder what Durant camp next move is, because I'm sure, you know, 40 laws of power, you got to be several steps ahead. So he's making a power play for sure to force himself out of New Jersey. Not New Jersey, I always say that, Brooklyn. So I wonder what the next step is. So if you're new to the channel, man, hit the subscribe button, please. Hit that like button, please, man. I'm going to give y'all quality content every time I hop on. And I know I need to be more consistent, but sometimes, you know, I'll be honest with you. When I'm not feeling it, I don't hop on. Because I don't want to come on just talking some BS. I want to come on and talking when I got the spirit to really talk about what the subject matter is and be passionate about it. I don't want to keep y'all at all, man. So tell a friend, set a stream. Until next time, you know, I got some stuff to do on my off day, so I'm going to get to it. Hoop Jargon, we out. Peace.
Shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon. Man, I'm here with my man with Hoop Jargon, the best in the game, man. And you know, I only let selected few in my circle. And this is the real dude right here. We gonna get down with the get